I stretch a lot. I'm Mr. Fantastic.
What kind of a dick, though, calls himself Mr. Fantastic?
Please cosplay responsibly with your children.
I saw a woman dressed as a Princess Leia action figure.
I just admitted to the world that I need a lot of toilet paper.
I feel like I'm like the MacGyver of cosplay.
What do you have on tap? It's a Trappist.
Why isn't there a superhero bar?
Nice job, you.
Welcome to the show. I am that Chris Gore. This is PodCRASH. This is the show where you get to hear a different podcast each week in which I appear as a guest. This week, I'm on a podcast called What the Cast. And What the Cast actually was recorded at the Dragon Con in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was a live show, live panel, and it was super fun. But today, I actually have a special guest in studio. In the PodCRASH studios with me, it's Dave Palamaro, and Dave is the drummer for one of my all-time favorite bands, GetSetGo, who played on you did the theme song for PodCRASH.
That's right. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was going to make a joke that drummer's really awesome. It starts off with a drum, like, who is that? It's like a combo of like Keith Moon and Stuart Copeland. Yeah, we did. We became friends a while back because you were a GetSetGo fan.
Huge GetSetGo fan. I would come to your live shows and I would just message you guys, and I just bought the CDs. I just bought your CDs.
Well, we met on Twitter because I would go through the GetSetGo Twitter account. I would look to search who was talking about GetSetGo, and then I saw you were posting about GetSetGo, and I'm like, oh, I remember Chris when he was doing the Film Threat. So I contacted you and say, hey, man, and so you started coming out to our shows, and
you started putting me on the guest list to your shows. A theme song for this podcast. I thought, well, who do I know who's a musician? They wouldn't want to do it. They're too busy. And I talked to your partner in crime, the lead singer,
Mike TV.
Mike TV.
Yeah.
I hit him up and I'm like, hey, would you guys be interested in maybe doing a theme song for my podcast and maybe so all the music that you hear on this show, the transitional music, everything. Dave played the drums.
Yeah, that killer-ass drummer is neat. That was funny because GetSetGo, we record a lot of music and a lot of albums, and so when Mike came to me and said, hey, he wants us to do Chris wants us to do a theme song, I was like, oh, cool. And we did it in an hour or less. Well, I was like, wow, that was quick, because usually it's like Mike will go, hey, I have 40 new songs and we have a week to learn them and record them. I'm like, wow. But this was, it went really easy. So, and I like what he did too. He, I think there was an original version of your theme that actually didn't have guitars, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it was weird. There were different sort of demo versions, but he had me come in and I sing the theme song. I mean, I sort of came to him and I said, well, I recorded I came up with sort of what the song should be, just like here's the lyrics and here's me singing it, and could you guys make it good?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to do that.
So then I heard the final version where he puts that guitar. It's a very Beatlesy kind of guitar thing. And then the voice at the very end with that Chris Gore, that's actually Mike TV's voice, I believe.
Yeah, it's Mike TV, and then an ex-girlfriend of mine, Mary Forrest, does the female version.
Oh, I see. Okay, there's two.
So there's two different versions.
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes I'll throw in whoever could sing that. Like you could sing it right now.
No, I don't sing. That's one of the first things Mike, when I joined the band, he's like, because he really likes harmonies, and a lot of the guys in the band can sing, and he's like, we can get an extra mic for him. I'm like, no. I don't sing.
I can't see how you can sing and play drums. I think that's got to be incredibly difficult.
You should have a whole show of singing drummers. Phil Collins did it. There's a lot of the guy from Night Ranger did it, right? Sister Christian, remember?
It's like you've got two parts of your brain working at one time. One, the brain, already just like playing drums, that's difficult enough. And then secondly, that also, I don't know, I feel that takes a certain type of person.
There's a surprising amount of drummers that do it and do it well. I think like for drumming for me, it's so secondary like nature. Like so, I guess these guys, they're able to just do the drumming, not even they just turn that part of their brain off and they're able to like sing too. Like Don Henley does it, you know.
But that's not why you're here today.
That's not why I'm here today.
You're here today to talk about your film, In Heaven There Is No Beer. Which is a documentary that you directed, edited, put together, played the film festival circuit.
Yeah.
Is about to come out on DVD August
6th. Yeah.
August 6th, it's out on DVD. It's an amazing documentary that I saw when you were actually still in the midst of editing it. I saw
Right.
like an early version of it. And I remember you had like a different title at the time.
Yeah, actually, I guess a little backstory. The documentary is about a music scene in LA that went from 2002 to 2007 called Kiss or Kill. And it was basically a bunch of bands that got together because they couldn't find a good venues to play in LA. Because at that time, it was like pay to play on a Sunset Strip where bands had to pay to play a venue, or really trendy Silver Lake scene where people were kind of snobby. And these bands, basically it was two bands, Bang Sugar Bang and Silver Needle. Members of those two bands got together and said, hey, why don't we form a community-driven music scene?
You've been thinking, worked it out, saying to place your life's ambition. Found your spot now, up on the stage. You want the girls to sit and listen.
And that's where that came about. And I was actually, before I joined GetSetGo, I was in a band called the OYOTs, and right after I joined them, they immediately were involved with this Kiss or Kill music scene. So somewhere in the middle of all this, I was like, wow, this is a great scene. It's all about camaraderie and good music and supporting one another and fans and bands. And so I was like, I should do a movie about it. And so I started shooting in 2006. I didn't have a camera. I bought a camera and started shooting all these interviews. And it was funny because when I finally got close to a rough cut, I went to film school, but I've been involved with music, so I didn't really know any film people. So the only person I really knew that was a film person was you. And I was like, well, I wonder if Chris, he would just take a look at it. And I was like really afraid. I'm like, man, he's going to rip this to shreds. But I wanted your honest feedback. So I was like, let me just, send it to him and, see what he thinks. And I was really surprised and happy. I mean, you had a lot of positive things to say about it. So
I love music documentaries. I love music documentaries because that was how, when I was a kid, punk rock, growing up in Detroit, the only way to see a lot of the bands, this is before I was like 15, 16 years old. The only way to see bands I liked was in documentaries because I couldn't go to shows.
Huh,
I could get into all ages show if I had a friend who had a car and could drive.
Right.
But the way I would see, you remember some of those like early punk rock like documentaries,
like you're talking about Decline of Western Civilization.
Decline of Western Civilization, like all those, like that's how I saw bands before I actually saw bands. Then I got to finally get to go see those bands. But this movie is really reminiscent of that style of film. It's like interviews and like cool performances.
If I could be anything, I'd be a machine gun. 'Cause every time I see you, I'm sorry I don't own one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I could be anything, I'd be a landmine. The next time you step on me, it'll really be the last time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bang, bang.
I remember talking to you about the title because I forgot what the title originally was.
Well, first of all, thanks. I mean, that Decline of Western Civilization, both parts, both the punk and the metal, are some of my favorite films. So, I mean, thanks. I mean, that's really nice of you. But, so the music scene was called Kiss or Kill. So I really wanted a title that had Kiss, the words Kiss and Kill in it. So there's so many titles of movies that have like Kiss, 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 Bang, Bang, and this and that. Or there is a movie called Kiss or Kill or Kiss Me Deadly. And so I think it was something like "Kill Me Now, Kiss Me Later" or something like that. And when that was one of your few like critiques. You're like, I really like the movie. It's really good. It really holds your attention. It's got great music, and you're just like the title just doesn't fit. It's too long. And I was like, oh, I don't have any other ideas for titles because it's like naming a band. Like, it's really hard to come up with a title. And you and I were on the phone, and you finally were just like, hey, why don't you just name it like the name of that song that they all sing? Because at the end of every Kiss or Kill show, the last band usually was Bang Sugar Bang, and they're like the main band, and people go crazy over them. And the whole audience would get up on stage with Bang Sugar Bang, and they would sing this song, "In Heaven There Is No Beer." And "In Heaven There Is No Beer," I think it was a polka song originally. And somewhere along the line, these bands kind of co-opted it, and we would all chant it together. It was a really great moment at the end of these shows, like camaraderie and the community, was really like representative of what Kiss or Kill was all about. So you were like, why don't you just name the movie In Heaven There Is No Beer after that song? And I was like, ah.
Well, no, it definitely fits. It definitely fits. And then first, just that song kept recurring in the movie,
right?
And then it's so memorable. I'm like, that's the title of the movie. In Heaven There Is No Beer, because I loved. Also, when I go to a film festival and I'll be looking through a program guide and I have no idea what movies are about, right? Like I'm like, I don't know what these movies are about. A title will grab me. So if I just saw the title, I knew nothing about your movie. I didn't even know it was a music documentary. It just said, In Heaven There Is No Beer. That would probably be at the top of my list to see, based on the title alone.
You're saying that the sun ain't gonna shine. Everyone's indifferent and the time ain't on my side. Well, I know. Whoa, yes, I know. Whoa, yes, I know. Someday soon I'll make you mine.
Well, it's funny. We got into a few festivals, and people beforehand and afterwards told me that exact thing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they're like,
oh, good.
We saw that in the program. We have to see that. You know? So, and I thought of you. I'm like, Chris was totally right. Because, you know,
that's cool.
I didn't, it's the first time going to film festivals for me and all that kind of thing. So you had a lot of great advice.
Oh,
and
thanks.
It definitely did grab people's attention, you know?
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah, so it worked.
I feel like I do have an instinct for titles.
Yeah.
If you ever do need the name of a band, I could name your
You should
band.
go into a title consultant.
There are people.
Business.
I know a guy. I've done his podcast. His job is to name things. He named the BlackBerry.
Oh, really? Are you serious?
Yeah. It's this guy. Wait, I gotta grab. It's there right there.
Wow, he must have made a lot of money doing that job.
It's this guy, Mark Hershon. Mark Hershon, I did his podcast. Oh, I can't believe I'm spacing on the name of his podcast. But look, he wrote a book also called I Hate People. And it's a great
title for a book.
It's a great title for a book. There's his book. It was happened to be on my shelf. Why am I spacing on the name of his podcast?
It says, I hate people. Kick loose from the overbearing and underhanded jerks at work and get what you want out of your job. Boy, I think I need to... No, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, so I was... Mark, actually, his job is to name things. He'll be given something. You wouldn't believe what a serious thing that is.
Well, I was thinking, but this is fascinating to me because I always think about the names of cars.
Right.
Like, I'm like, there must be, there are people who work for car companies, and that's all they do, come up with the next name of a car, model of a car. You know what
it's
I mean?
important because the name has to be international. It can't have double meanings, like the Nova. The Chevy Nova.
Yeah.
In Spanish-speaking countries, Nova means doesn't go. So it's weird. This is like the second person I know who actually his job is to name things. But Mark Hershon does a podcast called Succotash. I can't believe I spaced. But Succotash it's sort of like, it's similar to my show in the sense that like he will take clips from other shows and just do highlights. But yeah, Mark Hershon.
That's cool.
Name things.
Yeah, I mean, I have
to find out how to get that job.
Some of the names of the cars, like Matrix, that came out probably right after the movie or something. Matrix, and the names appeal to a certain demographic of consumers, and they research this stuff, and they do it with movie titles too, right? Don't they?
They do a lot. It just has to have like meaning. It also like it can't be like what's weird is you can't own a word or you can't own a name.
Right.
But you don't want to compete with something that already has a similar name. For example, this is actually the biggest. When George Lucas was doing Star Wars in the 70s, 20th Century Fox wanted to retitle the movie because they did market research and they discovered that people at that time, this is in 1976, before the movie came out in 77, at that time, people thought Star Wars sounded like a movie about celebrities fighting.
Huh, that's funny. Well, they had Battle of Network Stars. Maybe that's why.
Star Wars, like, it's about celebrities fighting.
But then I know we're getting off topic, but then there's, you ever thought about like names of bands or things that are popular, but they're bad names? Like Smashing Pumpkins is a horrible band name.
Right.
I think. But it's they're a huge band. I mean, they were very
It's
successful.
also, I think what happens is a name after a while takes on a completely different
Right.
connotation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, for example, and I have to get this plug in, Celebrities Poop, my comedy album, which you can get if you go to celebrittiespoop.com. It's available, Celebrities Poop is available on Amazon, it's available on iTunes, but if you go to celebrittiespoop.com, you can purchase the book, which comes with a download code for the entire album, in addition to a bonus track that is not available on Amazon or iTunes. So go to celebrittiespoop.com, please order my book, and help support this show.
All celebrities poop, yeah, all celebrities poop.
Dave, I notice.
Yeah.
You like to shave.
Well, I did shave before coming here, actually.
You shave. Do you shave anywhere other than your face?
Perhaps, maybe, on occasion.
You're well groomed, as am I. Then you should go to dollarshaveclub.com. If you go to dollarshaveclub.com/Chris, you can sign up and you get like razors sent to you on a monthly basis. They're like the high end razors, super inexpensive. They send you all kinds of cool samples and stuff. The box is actually really awesome. So support PodCRASH by going to dollarshaveclub.com/Chris. Get it's affordable razors, a great price. You'll be smooth anywhere you would like to be, Dave.
Interesting. Thinking about it.
dollarshaveclub.com/Chris. Sign up. And also go to celebrityspoop.com. All right, enough with the plugs.
Day in, night out. My lazy ass is working all week long. I'm planning, I'm training to be the one. Building skills under the weight of old man Miyagi. He's making me do his job.
Your producer wanted to actually be on the show,
That's
but he
right.
happens to be in New York.
He happens
so
to be in New
are we
York.
going to try and call him on the show?
Well, we have this new technology
This is
called
new technology.
the iPhone. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
We have the iPhone. And we're
Yeah, and so
calling
it's
the
kind of like
producer.
people can't see what we're doing, but it's like wires, a bunch of wires and plugs, and it looks like one of those.
It doesn't look like that. It's just a phone.
Yeah,
But
okay.
we're gonna call your producer because now why are we having him on the show? You have to tell me.
Well,
Because we're having an interesting conversation. Why break it up with bringing a guy on the phone from New York?
Yeah, I actually don't know this dude. I'm just calling somebody randomly.
Let's call
but,
someone randomly.
but no,
I've never had callers on my show.
Oh, it's the first time for everything.
First time for everything. Let's do it.
But
Give him a
no,
call.
I mean, but to just preface the whole thing, I mean, after the festival run, a friend of mine,
Successful festival run.
we
by the way.
we got into a few festivals, and
And what is there a website for that people can go to?
yeah, if you go to Facebook and search "In Heaven There's No Beer" movie, the Facebook page will pop up, and
Just look up for "In Heaven There Is No Beer." What a great! I want to get. Is there a soundtrack also to the album?
yeah, that's a great idea, and I
Because
think
I want to download
yeah,
that.
we should work on that. It's just that there were like 140 songs in the film, and so
Whoa.
clearing, yeah. So that if anybody knows anything about music clearance, it was luckily a lot of the bands I know I'm friends with, and we were able to clear all the music, but it did take some time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So a soundtrack would actually be another thing altogether. We'd have to clear the music again.
Right.
Like the clearances I have actually for movie purposes. But if we were to do a soundtrack, we would need to clear the music and get the legal rights for the music. But I would love to do that. It's just that that's another project in and of itself. So maybe we'll do that. That would be nice. But to make a long story short, after we do our festival run, a friend of mine, Sean Spillane, who's a great musician, he was in some of these bands that were in the scene. He does music. He started doing music for indie horror films. And he did the music for The Woman, which I think did really well at Sundance, and a couple other films. And the executive producer of those films, Andrew Vandenhouten, Sean was so excited about my documentary. He really liked it. He showed it to Andrew while they were in New York, I think in between shooting or something. And Andrew really, really dug the film. And so he contacted me, and he's like, hey, I want to work with you. I want to help you get your movie distributed. And so that's what happened. We got a DVD distribution deal, and we're getting it on iTunes and all that kind of stuff, too. So we wanted to call him up and get his 2 cents, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, so this is what I find like on the. We'll call him up.
All right, I'm going to call him up right now.
But like on the festival circuit, I feel like producers really want to be, because producers are like writers. They don't get all the focus is on the director. You
Right.
hold it about like here. It should
Okay.
be okay. Can you hear that? Oh wait, I can hear that. That's great.
Hello,
Hey, Andrew.
is this Chris?
Yes, Andrew. This is Dave and Chris. You're on PodCRASH, the podcast. We're talking about the movie that you got involved with. How's it going?
Oh, it's great, man. It's a little hotter than the last time I saw you at the bar across from the Treasure Mountain Inn at Sundance.
Oh, that's right. TMI. That's exact. So tell me about your involvement with the project, and if we lose the connection, we'll call you right back.
Okay. David Palamaro was someone I got to know through Sean Spillane. I had seen the documentary a good 6 months ago, probably 6 to 9 months ago, and I responded incredibly well to it, but because of other commitments, I was unable to really get involved at the time. And then over the following 6 to 9 months, we started, a video label to handle some of our in-house productions that we do at Modern Cine. And so Modern Distributors kind of was formed to not only rep films, but distribute movies as well. And really, ultimately, just to be a vehicle to help get content out there that I personally, or my friends personally, really dug. So when Sean Spillane had mentioned it to me 6 to 9 months ago, and I responded well, it was in the back of my head. And then I think David reached out to me, I think, maybe a few months later, and the conversation started. And of course, being a fan of the whole indie rock scene in New York as a kid,
All right, tell me. All right, you got to tell me because I don't want to. I want our audience to want to see the movie. So you got to tell me some crazy, wild story. I love all the how we got together stuff, but give me like the most insane, crazy story you and Dave.
Oh God!
During the making of the film.
We can't talk about it.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
Come on, this is the rock music scene where there's girls taking their tops off. There's like
nothing like that.
We're like, we signed a deal, blah blah blah. Come on. Let's pretend you're in front of a festival audience and they're getting bored with what you're saying. Not that I think that, but other people in the audience think this. You got to tell me your craziest story. I want people to want to see In Heaven There Is No Beer.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. I know. There's a lot of podcasts that people can listen to. I want them to not fast forward through what you're saying.
Yeah. No, this is good. So, David, why don't you talk a little bit about your 3 years of insanity shooting this documentary and all of the alcohol, drugs, and partying? Coming of age movie that was really, really edgy and twisted to the Cannon Brothers directed it. The zombie film that we helped sell, and we've got In Heaven There Is No Beer, this fucking amazing LA indie rock scene film that, for me, like I was trying to get what I was saying, is that basically I never really thought the quality of music.
He's still plugging everything. He's still plugging. He thinks he's on the show. We're just gonna let him keep talking. Okay, wait, no, here he comes back. He's coming back. Okay.
And I think the cool thing about it is Sean Spillane worked with me on The Woman, which is a film I produced. Really.
Producers do this a lot. They really want to be like a part of the thing, and they want to show that they're like important and blah 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 blah. And I agree that they're important, but this is like, okay, wait, let's see if he's still talking.
Crazy, it seemed like, and just being uninhibited, but also being really careful, caring, respectful of one another.
Yeah, he's still talking.
Definitely badass and beautiful, and the music's actually really good too. So I'm a big fan of it, for sure.
Yeah, well,
that's great. Hey, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it. We're gonna get back. Dave and I are gonna get back to our conversation. Hey, oh man. So Dave, it was great. You're gonna have to call him back and just say we were having some problems. I just want to get. I want to get
it for that.
You're gonna get it for that? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Am I getting you in trouble? Am I getting you in trouble a little bit?
A little bit.
Well, but look. Okay. The bottom line is, I want to make it entertaining for my audience because I want them to want to check out In Heaven There Is No Beer. And I've seen the movie and I know it's amazing. In fact, I'm looking at the poster for it, and I provided you with a quote. And I normally don't do this. I stopped doing this. I don't really do this anymore.
I'm not
really.
That was really
not really
nice
a
of you.
film
Well,
critic anymore.
Yeah, I know. But when
I'm retired.
Again, once you were the first person to see the film, and I was like, hey, we're just trying to get some artwork together, just anything, and you were like, how about this? And you just You know, and you gave it a great quote, and it's been on the artwork ever since for about a year and a half. So I appreciate that.
No, but it's interesting because I love when someone, especially documentary filmmakers, because people are not making documentaries to make money.
Right.
Documentary filmmakers are not in it for the big bucks. It's really about a passion, and I think that comes through in this. I mean, obviously, you know, you're close to the subject matter. You know a lot of the people that you've interviewed in it.
Yeah.
A lot of the bands. I really it makes me do want to buy a soundtrack, because one of my favorite things to those like old like Decline of Western Civilization type documentaries.
Yeah.
Is the soundtracks, because it was like getting a great compilation album.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You need to put one together. I bet you could clear 15 songs.
No, we could definitely do it. It's just that my plate has been full with all this stuff, you know,
Right.
because we're doing 2 release shows for it. But
Well, it's interesting. Before we started recording the podcast, we had this interesting conversation about how the industry's changed. And oh wait, did he text? What did he say? What did he say? I can't read it. What did he say?
Oh, okay. Send an email.
He says, "Kick some ass, man. Didn't know where to go with it, but what the hell, right?" Look,
He's got a good
Andrew's,
sense of humor.
Hey, Andrew's a good guy. Tell him,
He's a good guy.
Tell him it's going to be funny on the show. Maybe it'll be funny. That
But
we were
you know,
kind of
to
blowing him
answer
off.
your question, I mean, people. Okay,
The industry
so,
has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It has.
From like, you know, because I put out my comedy album not on a CD. I feel like people aren't buying CDs anymore. It's available on iTunes and Amazon, but people do buy books. So the book album sort of concept was something I rolled out. And I'm actually working on one for my second comedy album as well. It's a similar concept thing, book album project. But
Yeah,
but with bands, how do you it's different if you're Trent Reznor, because Trent Reznor can say, or Radiohead can say,
Right.
well, I put out an album, it's $5 and you can download it, and he's got a dedicated.
Sure.
Those bands have dedicated large audiences. When you're a band like GetSetGo that has been struggling for a while, that people know, I mean, you've got like fans in Germany. It's crazy. When you guys do your Ustream, I was over at over at Mike's place once where he did the Ustream.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was fun, where he's just live streaming, playing in the band, playing songs for people, for whoever wants to tune in. There's people from all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot to talk about there. I think the music scene, Kiss or Kill, had a lot of great bands, had a lot of great music. You know, there's this, like, I was thinking about this on the way over here. There's this new genre of music documentary that I guess mine sort of falls into. It's the band, the undiscovered band, or the band that didn't make it documentary genre. You know what I mean? The Anvil.
The band that didn't make it documentary.
No.
Wow.
Anvil.
Right.
I saw one last night called, it's about that Pentagram, that guy from Pentagram. I can't remember the title of the film, but he was another heavy metal dude that people knew about, but he didn't quite make it. They were, searching for Sugar Man. So, like, my movie is really about a whole scene that was like that. I mean, some people thought that maybe if the Kiss or Kill music scene had happened, like, say, 10 years earlier, when the industry was still, the old school industry, that maybe it would have been like a Seattle where people would have descended upon, and, one band would have made it. But I don't know. I think that there's always great music out there. It must be like films or any other art. There's always great music out there, great bands, and 99% of it you're never going to hear.
Right.
Unless someone takes the time.
In Heaven There Is No Beer could be considered the bands that didn't make it documentary.
Right. No, it was. It's like the scene that didn't make it documentary.
But I knew about some of the those other bands, because I had been to some of those shows, unbeknownst to myself. I'm like, wait a second, I recognize that, or I'd seen those bands at other venues.
Well, there were a few. The 2 bands that really broke out the most was GetSetGo, because GetSetGo, we really we got lucky. We got some of our songs on Grey's Anatomy back in 2006, and then it's funny, they did this music episode too, where some of the cast members sung one of the songs that was on their soundtracks.
Really?
Yeah, so they sung our song "Wait," and
oh wow,
yeah, and I can't remember the cast member's name. Mike would know, but she sings it. You can find it on YouTube, And I watched it, and I'm like, I said to Mike, how much money did they spend on the orchestra? Because they did a totally new arrangement of the song, and the cast member had to sing it. They spent all this money to re-record the song, and they probably spent more money on that than we spent on all our albums put together. But
wow.
But that really helped us out. That's why we have some national and worldwide recognition. There was another band and the other band that kind of got some recognition was the Dolly Rods.
Right, of course, I know the Dolly Rods.
It was cute, couldn't give it me in person. Asked me if I would go with you to Kansas. I said yes, though it wasn't to my standards.
Yeah, they've been touring their asses off the last 5-6 years, and they've been doing pretty well. They went to Warped Tour and stuff like that. So but other than those two bands, none of the other bands, even though a lot of them tried, none of them really broke out. And that's what's...
Well, but that's the way to break out, is to get... I mean, it's almost like there's more money in getting your music on a soundtrack than there is in actually selling the music.
Well, again, to your point about how much things have changed, I think that's the way people are making money now. Or commercial placement or in a TV show. I mean, things have just changed so drastically now. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Like, we came out with our second album in 2006, and I would always go on the internet and see who's talking about GetSetGo and what kind of reviews there are when the albums would come out. And, it was mostly that kind of stuff, blogs or reviews. And then our newest album came out, I don't know, like last year or something. And it's called Fury of Your Lonely Heart. And it was like, as soon as I typed in the name of our album, all that came up was BitTorrent. Like, all these places you could download the album for free. And I was like, fuck, man, what the hell? Like, it's weird.
I bought the CD.
No, I know.
Pre-ordered it.
It's such a cliche because you're like, you don't want to hear people gripe about it, but like we don't have a label anymore. Like we self-funded that album, and we had some help from Kickstarter, but like we spent a lot of money, a lot of time on it. We hired a really good recording guy to do it, and to see that anybody can just go on and download it for free at any time, multiple sites, it's kind of like disheartening. It really is.
Yeah, well...
welcome to the world.
Yeah, exactly. I would just, look, I at this point, I don't know whether to take it as a compliment, like a lot of people are BitTorrenting it, or, maybe that improves your live show. I don't know, like... Does that get more people to show up to the live show?
It is. I mean, it is flattering that there's enough people that want to buy them or get the music somehow, but it also, really... How do you? Is it like a new financial model? How do you? And that's what the music industry, is struggling with. How do you make money? How do you, keep yourself afloat and keep your band or your movie, whatever.
I'll be saying I want you now, won't recover. If you're on to, will remember.
So stick around because we're going to play clips from this podcast that I was on, but I want you to stick around at the end of the show. We'll talk a little bit.
Sounds
more.
good.
Okay, so this week's Crash, I was on a show called What the Cast, which is this is the second time I've actually been on What the Cast. I was on What the Cast. We talk about cosplay, we talk about everything nerdy, and this was live. It's hosted by Brian Richardson, Stephen Grenade, and this guy Crispy. He's known as Crispy. And it's like a geek culture podcast. It's like, and this is from the guys that are behind Dragon Con TV. So if you go to Dragon Con, in all the hotels, they play this thing that's like a feed that goes into all the hotel room TVs called Dragon Con TV, which is all this hilarious like spoofs and satires. In any case, this was recorded live at 10 a.m. at Dragon Con after I'd been out probably like 3-4 hours of sleep. With Dragon Con, which I will be back there. I will be going to Dragon Con again this year in early September, and hope to run into Brian, Steven, and Crispy. But this was recorded live. It was a blast, a really fun conversation. And so, you know what? Let's just give it a listen. What the Cast, live from Dragon Con. If this panel took place in the elevator, I would have been on time. What can I say?
It's so true.
Thanks for having me, you guys. This is the second time I've been on your show.
Yes,
right.
But the first time you've been like in front of us, so apparently we can do these things over the internet.
This is excellent.
Well, we normally don't.
It's amazing.
We don't normally do the show together either. We do the show through a Google Hangout.
Right.
We've only done these episodes and a couple of what we call Scotch casts, which are basically on the back porch of my house or over at somebody else's party or something. Most of them are done like in a virtual environment. So there's an avatar and then there's 3D, and it's really expensive to do it that way. So we went to Google recently, and so that's kind of nice.
Let's do it live. Let's do it live right now, right here. I can't believe
live.
I can't believe there's this many people here Sunday at 10 a.m. because I've had like 2 hours of sleep. So this will be fun.
Obviously, Randall the Puppet is having a rough day. By the way, where's Randall's clothing?
Well, see, Randall had a rough night. I think he ran into Aaron Douglas.
I just figured he was cosplaying Chris at the Parsecs.
Were you wearing the nipple tape though, like Randall? I'm confused by that.
Waiting for someone to come and put the duct tape over.
Right? Yeah, that was kind of fun. I feel like I'm like the MacGyver of cosplay because I didn't have the guy came out naked and did that song at the beginning. I thought, I'll top that. I'll be nearly naked, but I wore. It's a dumb gag, but I wear an outfit that's basically Ben Grimm, but on a bad cosmic ray day. So I just have a pair of blue spandex shorts and a belt that has a 4 on it. You know,
strategically
Fantastic
placed.
Four, right? So, but I didn't have the belt with me, but I did have the spandex shorts on. I won't say why, but
I won't ask.
So out of duct tape, I just made a white belt. I was taking duct tape off the kitchen in the back, off the floor.
That's why I got lost back there.
Yeah. And then, I just
the
made
employees going by and going, sure. Fine.
I can just see you and
you saw the outfit. It was weird. I mean, but
that's one word for it. Yes, absolutely.
there are pictures posted on Twitter, which is what Twitter is for, is all those embarrassing things you'll never be able to hide from future employers.
That's true. That's true.
So there you go. Cool.
That and Facebook. Well, we're glad you're here.
Glad you thanks. No, thank you.
I was hoping the elevators might actually be functional this early, but
oh god, it's been bad too, and it's very swampy in those elevators. You get in and it's like, is the elevator cosplaying as Dagobah? Because it really is human.
Doors open, the funk rolls out, and you're like,
oh my god!
Wow, that's like now on a level of 1 to Shaft. What is the funk level in the elevator today?
Right. It's very funky.
Are we somewhere around Dolomite at this point?
right.
We're working our way up.
Not
so.
quite to Cold Medina.
Anybody need just wiki it. Don't even.
But you do have to
it was the
definitely-
70s, kids.
Oh, Dolomite, you're
But
my
you do have
hero.
to factor in travel, like.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking it's just downstairs. I mean, I'll
It's
take
only
the
one
elevator
hotel
down,
over.
and no, it's down, and then a sky bridge here, and then there. Then you run into people, and then you see a really cool costume. I have to stop and take a picture of that.
Right,
you know,
naturally.
that it's like, wow, I will never see that again. A guy as Jonathan from Rollerball, the original.
Classic.
Wow.
Yeah,
version.
yeah, the
Yes,
James Caan
yes.
version. Yeah, not that horrible version that they attempted to make that sucked all the politics and ideas out of it.
You didn't like WWE's version of Rollerball?
No, I did not. I thought it was the
Folding
worst.
chairs a bit much. Yeah.
The worst. Oh, wait, we're drinking Kirkland water. Kirkland, the sign of quantity. For those of us who have shopped at Costco.
Yes.
Occasionally you have to buy in bulk, and that's what happens.
I do this every time I get in line at Costco. I do the exact same joke every time, and no one laughs at this joke, which I think is pretty clever. Which is, I get in line, I seriously look at the person behind me, and I say, "Is this the 1,000 items or less line?"
And no one ever.
And no one says anything. They just like,
That's
I
because
don't know.
Costco is a place of sadness. You don't go there to be happy.
Right.
You just go in and you're like, oh.
Well, I just admitted to the
buying lots of
world
stuff.
that I need a lot of toilet paper.
I'm now buying peanut butter in bulk. This looks really sad.
Yeah.
I really like mayonnaise.
Which was the first name for this podcast. But
was,
that's
it
a
was,
long
it was.
story, yeah.
Waiting for the baconaise in bulk that you can get.
Oh,
to roll
no.
that.
No.
That would just be the greatest thing of sadness.
Yeah, we were trying to think of what, early on, we were trying to think of what Costco wouldn't sell. And I used to have a Sam's Club membership. And Chris, I have a unit of measure called a SAM. And a SAM is the smallest unit of anything you can buy at a Costco, BJ's Wholesale, or Sam's Club. So one SAM of toilet paper is 24 rolls. One SAM of laundry detergent is like, the jug. And so
I
that's
love
how we
that.
make our shopping list. I need 1 SAM of this, 2 SAMs of that, 3 SAMs of lentils, whatever. And they sell these little microwavable packs of Madras lentils. Step 1, vent package. Step 2, microwave. Don't invert those. They also sell those little cleaning wipes in like 300 packs. Those are handy when you don't follow the
forget to
steps.
reverse
Yes.
the steps.
Oh boy. And so we figured what won't they sell? Well, they won't sell pets, obviously, because you'll have to get 2 of them shrink wrapped together, and it'll be like the combo pack. It'll be like a corgi and a cat. It'll just be this like.
Do you remember the bonsai kitten thing that was on the internet? That's what you get the bonsai kittens in bulk and just wheel those out.
What is that? I got a Sam of Rottweilers. I'm not opening that.
Those come in hefty bags, as far as I know. You just pick them up and wrestle them into the cart.
Oh, anybody get the reference on that? Hefty bag Rottweiler? Did I set that up well enough?
Yeah.
No one watched that show?
No,
too early for this.
Middleman.
Middleman. Yeah, okay,
Loved
yeah.
that show. So one
Moving
of
on.
the nice things you were talking about the cosplayers. What I really like about Dragon Con is any fandom is still available from
Yes.
any time. There's stuff in the dealer room from all kinds of different shows, no matter how old people are cosplaying, all these different things. And I really like that.
Okay, so actually so we'll start with Chris, because you've been your Twitter feed, by the way, that Chris Gore. Great pictures, by the way. You're getting some really interesting moments. Some of them can be shared.
You should see the ones I don't tweet. It's pretty friggin' good. I would like to see, though, speaking of Doctor Who, I would love to see a modern episode of Doctor Who where when they're indoors, it's shot on video, And when they go outdoors, it's shot in 16 millimeters.
Yeah.
Why have they not done that or come up with some explanation? Because I would just love that about the old. I mean, it wasn't just Doctor Who; it was every British series,
Yeah.
Right.
Python, whatever.
So you
It's
have
like,
two doctors. You have white balance doctor, and you have
Right.
because even as a kid, I'm like, oh come on, really?
Yeah. They played not with the filming, but with some of those of the Curse of the Deadly Death.
Yeah.
They did it. They did the Stephen Moffat special 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Where they were just completely making fun of all the
I'll explain later.
tropes of Doctor Who. Yeah, they keep asking him questions like, but I'll explain later. And they keep running down the same corridor, and then it's the same corridor, and it's the same corridor. The walls are kind of shaking.
Rowan Atkinson's the Doctor.
He should have been the Doctor. He really should have been.
Funny.
Yeah.
But what I do love about Doctor Who is and I confirm this fact to be true, is that
So it's a
the
true fact.
creativity of the writing. Yes, a true fact. But it's the creativity of the writing. It was one of those things where it's like, well, we've got giraffe costumes, canoes, and knight in shining armor. Can you guys make an episode out of that?
Wow.
Maybe they travel in time to the land of the giraffe people planet. I don't know.
So Doctor Who Mad Libs is essentially what that show was.
That's every episode.
But no, that's how the writers did it. It was literally, these are the props that were sitting around.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And they
Yes,
wrote
that was
shows
actual.
around
Yeah.
stuff that was lying around.
We've got a castle, and we just canceled this medieval series. He goes back in time to a space planet.
Done.
Ooh, done.
It's almost like the
Right,
the
yeah.
Who dartboard. Like we're going to blindfold ourselves.
So, no, exactly what I'm
That
thinking
was
of. It's the
throw.
South Park episode where they were
manatees.
explaining how Family Guy came up with interstitial bits.
Yes!
With the manatees.
We've got a question from the audience.
Actually, we
If- oh, I'm sorry.
Did you have a more of your thoughts?
Yeah, since you're on the subject of Doctor Who, I've never seen a John Pertwee ever at any time.
Ooh, wow, really?
Never. That's sad because that cape is.
I know that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's an amazing outfit.
I think no one.
You
I
should
think
make that
no
happen
one
next
wants to
year.
be Big Pimpin' Doctor. I think that's the problem.
And he'd be great for the parade. If you
Hang on.
You know how the mic works, right?
And that would be a great one for the parade if they could actually
You're-
get the car.
I'm sorry, are you doing the wrestling announcing thing with the Let's get
get
ready to rumble?
I actually did see a Tronton, and at first I didn't recognize him until I saw the bouffant.
Ah, he had the hair.
That's the hair. That's why you can't do it. You can't pull off the look.
What was after Hartnell, before?
So you've
Who's
got
the one after
You got
Hartnell?
Hartnell. You got Troughton. You got Pertwee.
Pertwee. I saw the
Yeah.
Pertwee.
Yeah.
I saw Pertwee, and I recognized him because of the bouffant. That's the one who has the bouffant. I saw a Tronton, and he was in black and white makeup.
Oh yeah,
there's-
that's what we
Look,
want.
we
That
imagine
happen.
it and it
Inspired.
pre-existed. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
So let's say
before happened.
just to keep you up with the Doctor Who, if you don't know the names, we go old guy, shemp, pimp, scarf, celery. Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, potato. The thing we don't mention, and then the reboot.
So real quick, did anyone else watch that episode last night? I
Anybody?
guess just me.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're not
we're
going
all
to talk
here.
about it.
Yeah. Well,
Anybody watch it off the BTs? I didn't. By the way, BT, Chris, doesn't stand for British Television. Apparently, it stands for BitTorrent. I just found this out.
Oh, there we go. I love
So we
that.
had a few people watch it last night, and since apparently I'm the only one of two that watched it, I think any Who fans are really
You
going to
will
enjoy
say
this
nothing.
episode.
Excellent.
So that's all I'm going to say. Christmas came early.
All right.
Any more cosplay you want to see? Because evidently, if you say it, it happens.
Or it's been done.
Right.
I mean, I just actually was at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, yeah.
cosplay there was amazing. I saw a woman dressed as a Princess Leia action figure, where she had her arms completely straight.
Oh, my gosh.
And the hair was all molded like Devo style. It was great. And then
That's excellent.
So many other good ones. There were two guys dressed as Scout Walkers. I saw a kid in a baby stroller, but it was it was one of those speeder bikes
Yeah.
from Jedi. Like there were, too many to name. Too many cool ones. I was there dressed as Slave Leia.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's on the
I
internet.
Apologize to everyone here and the internet and everyone in the podcast audience.
you broke it.
But it's I feel like the creativity with the Star Wars stuff is great. I mean, there's so many mashups. I mean, there were a whole group of Muppet stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, that's excellent.
It's amazing.
I really feel that. And then I saw a stormtrooper in a Slave Leia outfit, so it all came full circle.
there was this kid actually. He was in the parade and everything like that. But his parents had turned his stroller into a battle star.
Oh, wow.
They had taken like the floor mats you get for like your kids' room and like, cut it and molded it, and it was.
I've seen a couple of those running around. There was one in the parade that was it was done like an anime style fighter. It was white and pink.
Yes,
and he rolled right past us on the parade, and that was really cool.
Well, once you have babies, there are all sorts of cosplay opportunities that can happen.
Joyce.
Which is
Hang on.
Which is exactly what I have been wanting to try. I didn't bring my daughter this year to con.
Like a baby.
Bring your daughter to con week.
I hate to say it as a dad, it's been a lot more fun at con, not bringing a 2-year-old.
You're not dragging me down, kid.
But I wanted to try either something with a Bjorn, either Guado from Total Recall.
I have seen someone do that. I saw someone who did that and had the little Quaid.
But did they actually have their child?
Yeah, with an actual child sort of coming, had put his costume around Bjorn, so it was great.
The more elaborate I wanted to do was a mech, and she would be the pilot.
Yes.
But then in my mind's eye, I saw myself tripping and said, no, bad idea. Bad idea.
Serious handlers for that.
That's good. I saw. This was actually at Phoenix Comic Con. It was a couple that was dressed as Kal-El or Jor-El from Krypton, and their baby was Superman.
Yeah.
So they were just like the couple from Krypton, the original Superman. It was so great. So they did cosplay with their child.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Responsibly.
Yeah, I always
didn't try to kill them.
Please cosplay responsibly with your children.
I always had the idea of doing a lone wolf and cub, and building the little stroller to put my kids in, but now they are too old to be able to do that. So.
Force them into it anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
Well, you and your wife need to work on that. I know it's a long-term cosplay plan, but
Speaking of using kids in cosplay, one of the cutest ones, it's usually the thing that sort of gets my ADD attention span is always something really cute or boobs. So it's just that's the gamut.
Yeah.
I would love for there to be a theme, because there's all kinds of clubs and bars and restaurants you can go to. Why isn't there a superhero bar? Why isn't there a bar that, like, every Thursday at this bar, you can go here, but the dress code is you got to wear a mask or a cape. You got to have one of those or both. It would be really fun to go to a once-a-week superhero bar where you could drink. You'd have superhero-themed drinks. Look. They've got every kind of club under the sun with, themes. And they do a thing in L.A. They do, karaoke here. They do a thing in L.A. cosplay karaoke, which is really fun. But I'd love
Nikki, right?
What's that? Yeah.
Nikki,
Nikki Hunter. Yeah. So, and I do this comedy show at a thing called IO West called Comic Book Live, where we'll take a theme and do one time we actually did. We did Gothamville, The Adventures of Batboy, which was an improv where we improved if the WB did a shitty series about young Bruce Wayne with hall monitor Jim Gordon, a brooding,
Sorry,
Bruce
I thought that was
Wayne.
Birds of Prey.
My parents are dead. He's very goth. But it just got me thinking, why isn't there a superhero bar where once a week people dress in costumes? That's where you meet up. I mean, I think there's a lot of cities where that would actually go over really well as a once-a-week kind of theme.
If you're really into the cosplay, though, if you go deep into the character, I can think of 3 problems. One is that when it comes for the paying the check, if you have a credit card and they say, "Can we see your ID?"
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, Superman's
my secret identity?
Crap. 2, they would always expect Tony Stark and Batman to pick up the check, so that's just kind of. And 3, if you don't have a utility belt like your Superman, where are you going to keep your money? So I would see a lot in dine and dash, especially if the Flash was there. Right. That would kind of be a problem.
But I do.
MasterCard will be fine.
In spite of the problems, I would just love to see a superhero bars, cropping up all over the United States. This is just my dream. I want it to happen. Nerds are cool. That happened in my lifetime.
I'm wondering
I'd like to see superhero bars. Call me crazy.
There's actually
Battle and Brew. Would Battle and Brew do it?
One.
Yeah.
What's that?
Battle and Brew. It's a gaming pub. It's basically, it was like board games, video games.
Yeah, it's like one of those old cyber cafes. Only there's full up arcades. There's a rock band, and they will serve you alcohol, and they have themed nerd.
We should have a conversation.
Like that, actually, there's a show going on here in town called Wrath of Khan.
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of takes place and parodies the convention. But one of their finest set pieces is there is a bar like that, and they call it Admiral Akbar.
Oh.
And it's a trap.
Wait.
Admiral Akbar and grill.
And grill. and
all the menu
and they
items.
serve Trappists.
Yes.
So,
How, what do you have on tap? It's a Trappist.
Yes.
Nice.
So that's out there. We definitely need to push and make that happen. I would drink there.
Awesome.
And Admiral Akbar and Grill is one of those. That's an awesome joke. Why didn't we think of it first?
Why could we not have stolen that?
Well, like when we had,
actually, we could steal it back.
Well, we had come up with one of our will not be seen tonight. So one of our gags on DragonCon TV is that if we think of a joke and the only funny part of it is the name,
or if it's special effects too expensive to be filmed on our budget,
so we do it. So and so will not be seen tonight, or so and so is sponsored by. So one of the ones this year was 50 Shades of Earl Grey. Will not be seen tonight. And it's just Captain Picard. And we're like, hey, we got this joke. We got it ready. And then Will Wheaton is like, hey, I got this idea. And we're like, yeah. Because we hold most of our stuff for release right before the con. So we're like, so it was already out there in the ether. We're still doing it because it's funny. But
yeah. We steal. We have no shame.
Yeah. That wasn't Creative Commons. Sorry, Paramount.
That's, people say, why can't you sell DVDs? Because they're big corporations that would crush us if we tried to make money.
But you fall under parody and satire.
Well, okay.
Are you sure?
How
does Robot Chicken get away with it?
Well,
I mean, I know how they get away with it.
They have a budget and they have lawyers available.
Here's the interesting thing about parody and satire. Well, one, we actually we don't set it up as a thing to make money. Because there's so many people involved in submitting things.
Mitt Romney would not like that.
Yeah, well...
True story, we already have a parody of that, too.
Okay.
So,
yeah, we ran Mid-Zombie for President in 2008. Yes. Yeah. He won't release his death certificate, so we don't know if he died in America.
Yeah.
So, he has 2 lifetimes of political experience.
I saw the TNT was doing a zombie. I'm like, why couldn't Mitt Zombie get that much coverage?
I know. Oh, well, actually, Crispy set up an interview. I interviewed a zombie. Well, I interviewed a zombie's wife.
Are you familiar with what AMC is doing right now? I'm going to explain this to everyone.
Right, yeah.
So AMC, of course, is not on Dish Network, and so there's a huge issue with that. So they have a campaign running right now, and they're sponsoring a zombie for their presidential candidate choice, and which basically is a big campaign against Dish TV. So they actually had the huge campaign buzz out. They actually had a classic band.
Yeah, they got a band
with
with
hats and buttons and everything. And it was a classic rally that we had here. Was that yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday outside the Marriott.
Fantastic. So it's a lot of cool little things.
Yeah, so we interviewed him and asked him questions about how do you respond to your critics that you won't release your death certificate?
And they're like, Solomon Grundy's going to be your running mate.
Yeah, and her response was like, well, he is the only candidate that's offered to release 500 years of tax returns.
That's right.
Nice.
Oh man,
you're playing along.
They were spot on. They really liked what they were doing too.
That's excellent.
All right, so that's kind of a dead moment there.
We were like, the bus was going somewhere, it swerved, and I can't remember if we're going to Albuquerque or Texas.
I guess what's your most memorable cosplay so far? And not necessarily obscure, but what's the one that, maybe you didn't take a picture of it, but the one you're like, that's the one I'm going to tell a story about?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you're asking just me?
No, actually, we were going to toss to the audience while we stall.
I've already told mine, which was the Batman Superman.
It's the stalling
that's
music.
a different thing.
It's the stalling music. Yes, Susie.
We're big gamers at our house, so
I'm shocked and amazed.
I know, amazing. So I saw a group of folks, and it was from Fallout New Vegas.
Oh,
and, the Centurions in their costumes and how they have the Roman armor, but the crazy random stuff too. And this guy had the football helmet, and he had the full banner and everything. And there was a whole group of them, and I was just like, "This is cool." And Misfortune, if you take that perk in there. So that was a cool group because I've seen Fallout people, I've seen Vault Dwellers,
but the Vault Dwellers are pretty simple to do.
To come in and do the full Centurion, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love to see, just to be really nerdy here. Anyone play Borderlands? Any of you guys? A couple of gamers. So it's a cell shaded video game with kind of that gritty apocalyptic feel. I would love to see cosplayers be able to do that and still carry that cell shaded.
Yeah, that would be. I think it'd be like a body paint kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way we could really pull that off and get the look.
The guy that does Kratos.
Oh, did y'all see the Minecraft creeper? The Minecraft creeper was walking, and so everyone's like, "Yeah."
Did you see the kid that won the Minecraft Friday Night Costume Contest? He won, I think, audience response and also best youth. And he did a Minecraft Steve.
It was
and
awesome.
Came out. And then when they came to give him the award, he's completely playing along. So he's Minecraft Steve. He comes out, and the judge comes out, not thinking, tries to hand him a plaque as Minecraft Steve, and he just sticks his arm out. And the judge is like, what do I do with this? You don't have any hands. So he just sits it on his head. And I'm up on stage going, no, it's a power-up. You put it on the floor, and he's supposed to walk over it.
You got to step on it.
I mean, with Minecraft Steve, I've heard kids going crazy over this, and this is the first year I've really. We've had children do cosplay before, but kids are just so involved in the con this year, especially.
It's a bit popular.
Yeah.
Did you see the person dressed as the
no
anime
one got that.
character
Hip-hop
where you
was
say to
not
yourself, oh, yeah, I have no idea what you are.
Every anime character ever.
15 or 20 of those. Where I know you're an anime character.
I see the hair color. I see the big sword.
I no clue.
Yeah.
No clue. But yeah.
Like, that looks cool. Can't identify it.
Right, exactly.
Nice job, you.
Yes.
All right, for each one of us, we want one person in the audience to name the cosplay they think that each one of the cast members should do.
Oh.
On the spot,
So
on
one
the
at a-
spot.
so one at a time then?
For Steven, it's obviously Ming the Merciless.
Fair enough.
Well, you've done
Fair
that
enough.
before.
Yes.
But it's a good one.
Yeah.
For Steven, it's definitely got to be John Malkovich from Con Air.
Malkovich.
Wow.
Brian and Steven have to switch roles.
I can wear a wig. Look at some of our stuff.
Oh, dear.
And you're going to have to shave.
Yeah.
That's not... You got to sell it. Shave.
No.
I want to say Brian is Lucius Malfoy.
Oh, really? Wow.
Well done.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's excellent.
Snape says Malfoy's
I think Randall's gonna pretend to be a puppet next year.
Wow,
so
really?
we
Yeah.
should be fine with that.
Good.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I think he should dress up as a marionette.
No.
I would like to see Brian dye his hair brown and be Gaius Baltar.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ladies.
Can you talk with that really rough Tauran accent, though?
No.
Right,
No, I'm not even going to try.
Crispy could do a Silent Bob.
Okay, all right.
Oh, there's some real advantages to that. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that.
All right.
So we know where we can borrow hockey jerseys.
Yeah,
You could do it Silent Bob and Jay.
Oh.
It'd be a height.
Why have we never done this?
Tonight on most explicit Brian bit ever.
I'm sorry. Can you play a little more up tempo and high energy?
Red Bull.
Yes.
And then you could cosplay and do like 7 podcasts, or is it 9? How many podcasts is Kevin
Oh,
Smith?
God.
I assume he does all of them. All
Every
the
week
podcasts.
there's a new podcast.
Tonight on the
created.
Smodcast, tomorrow morning's podcast.
Right.
And Chris Gore could dye the top of his head and do Mr. Fantastic.
Well, thank you. I was going to go with Quicksilver, but that's a good one
so
too.
good.
I think I could pull that off.
Any other ideas?
I think
Everyone's like, we've made all of our bald jokes.
Actually,
so
I'm
we're
wondering
done.
if Chris Gore, what is it? Mr. Fantastic, you were thinking of from
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That,
the Venture Brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one that's Colbert.
That Stephen Colbert does. I can't remember what was the
Ever
they
failing
call
Oh,
it?
Mr. Incredible or something like
yeah.
that?
Yeah, you could totally pull that off because then you get to be kind of, that guy around a con. You can get the kind of like 50s smarmy.
What kind of a dick, though, calls himself Mr. Fantastic?
Well, that's
the kind that gets voiced by Stephen Colbert on the Venture Brothers.
Making that little vow to help humanity. Well, I guess I'll just be Rock Guy. I'll be Mr. Excellent. You're going to go with Mr. Excellent? You sure that's
you're
what
on
you're
fire all the-
Fine, Mr. Fantastic.
That's
I'll be the fire dude.
That's right. You're on fire all the time. You're the Incredible Torch. I stretch a lot. I'm Mr. Fantastic.
Right,
Wait,
right.
really?
I think Sue named him. So.
Hey. Wow.
I'll have to reread the original. In Fantastic Four, issue 1.
That's right.
1961, put out by Stanley.
Yeah, the one where Mole Man shows up.
That's the Mole Man.
Mole Man.
Well, we've only got
their
a
costumes until the second issue.
I believe the podcast is taking a turn for the nerdy.
It's nice how comic book guy is sort of like talking about Gilbert Gottfried in that you instantly have to do the voice. You just break out and do the voice.
I'm reading 50 Shades of Grey tonight.
I'm Gilbert Gottfried. So
my eyeballs can't
yeah, you gotta really.
So I guess let's break out our celebratory Tim Tam and do final thoughts.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There shall be Tim Tamming, which means that I get to pass to Crispy.
All right. So final thoughts. That's kind of our.
Final thoughts, Patrick.
Yeah.
That's right.
Patrick. Yeah,
Well, if Patrick were here,
Patrick would say, "Have a Tim Tam, Brian." I think I will. Thank you.
Good. It's nice that he matches your inner voice of saying "eat."
I'm carefully opening the package,
So,
inspecting
Con
it.
It's
whatever
a fun
lives in
experience
Australia.
in all forms. Obviously, Chris, you travel and I imagine do a lot of those cons.
I do some cons, yeah.
Yeah, quite a few indeed. And the one thing I think I love is the camaraderie and the family aspect. Not so much like, oh, we're all kids and families, just like there's a really good community out there, and everyone seems to take care of each other. And so to continue that thought, continue to be good and be excellent to each other, as Brian usually says. I'm going to steal that from him. But anyways,
I think I stole it from you.
I did. I probably did. So it's awesome. We have 2 more nights here, and then next year. So hopefully we'll just have a great time. And Steven?
Yeah. My final thought is go out and just look at the people and the costuming. And I feel like this year, the costuming, it just keeps getting better and better and better. Eventually, everyone is going to be wearing like 2 costumes at once to try to fit them all in. So it's wonderful to see. So if you have not done it, take a break just to costume watch for a while.
People watching here is great. Mr. Gore.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do is just take pictures of people in costume, and I just love the acceptance and the sort of everyone cheering each other on. I just feel that sort of that positive attitude. I'd like to see more of that, but there's nothing of the cons I've been to, a ton of them. There's nothing like this atmosphere at Dragon Con. Nothing like the connected hotels and the sense of community, the sense of sneaking beer and alcohol to save time at the bar. I brought down a bunch of beer and we're just passing it out to people, just like, hey, we're all here to party and have fun. So I really just love that acceptance. I think that's something I wish was in high school, but I think for the most of us never was. Well, that's it for this week's Crash. I really want to thank the guys from What the Cast, Stephen Grenade, Brian Richardson, and Crispy. You can get more from them. Go to whatthecast.com. You can follow them on Twitter at whatthecast. You can find What the Cast on Facebook, but more importantly, look for Dragon Con TV on YouTube. You can check out their videos, which are screened on Dragon Con TV during Dragon Con, but the YouTube videos are freaking hilarious. And Dave, really want to thank you for hanging out with me on the show.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
To plug your movie, In Heaven There Is No Beer, which is a music documentary about the Kiss or Kill music scene, which comes to DVD on August 6th and is one of the best music docs I've seen in years, especially if you are into the indie rock scene in LA or you like a lot of the indie rock bands like GetSetGo, the Dolly Rots. It's a great documentary, and I can't wait to check it out, which I assume you put a lot of extras on the DVD because you know how much I love extras.
No, we did. We put like over 30 minutes of deleted scenes and full live performances. And you can go on to Amazon.com and buy it on August 6th, or you can go to our distributor, which is musicvideodistributors.com. You can buy it from them. And later
I love music video distributors. Like, they're great.
MVD?
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, yeah.
MVD are awesome.
No, yeah. That's actually Andrew.
Oh, my God. Who I was rude to on the phone?
Yeah, he's the one that got me that deal.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, my feeling is, just having gone to a lot of film festivals and seen like screenings, the producer is the least interesting person to hear talk. They're usually incredibly boring. They're like, well, I met so-and-so at such and such, and we got the deal together. Then we signed the contracts. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, it's more interesting to talk to, the filmmakers, the creative people behind it, whether actors or whatever. The producers usually drone on and on about deals and blah, blah. That's not that interesting. Not as interesting to me. I mean, maybe for the trade press, but yeah, producers are always very diplomatic.
That's why producers are producers and other people do other things.
We all have a role. We all have a role in this space. And producers are very important. I was
going to say, so to celebrate the movie coming out, In Heaven There Is No Beer coming out on DVD, we're having 2 release shows.
Where are the release shows? Because I will be at those shows, because I assume a bunch of the bands will be playing at those shows. Tell us about it.
You are correct, Chris.
All right. What is
So the first night is Thursday, August 8th at the Satellite in Silver Lake, which used to be called Spaceland.
Awesome.
And so a bunch of these bands who haven't played in 5 or 6 years are going to reunite and play. We've got Bang Sugar Bang, Midway, Silver Needle, the Dolly Rots, and GetSetGo.
I love the Dolly Rots.
And GetSetGo will all be performing. And
GSG. GetSetGo.
And then night 2 is the next night, Friday, August 9th at Cheetah's, the strip club in Hollywood.
I'll go to Friday.
Yeah. We've got the Letter Openers, King Cheetah, Pussycat, and the Waking Hours are going to be performing. So it's going to be and we'll have DVDs for sale there, and we're going to be giving away some of those full-size theatrical posters, one of which I gifted upon you.
Thank you for the poster. It's a great poster, man.
Oh, can I give a shout-out quick to Small Dog Design? They did the poster art, so they're really great people.
I can't have you do a shout out to Small Dog Design. I'm sorry.
We're gonna go back and delete that.
I'm sorry. I just can't have you do it.
Yeah. Well, they're Canadian, so that's why we can't do it.
And then just you know what? Just Google "In Heaven There Is No Beer" or "GetSetGo." And Dave, where can people find you on Twitter?
I'm at Dave Pal on Twitter.
Nice.
So you can look me up there, and I'll sit there and read your tweets. I'm one of those people that sits back. And what is that called when you just read tweets?
I don't know.
There was a
You'd
great
read the at replies.
Did you ever,
and just read your
this is not related to anything, but there's always some great Twitter battle going on. Have you ever seen those happen? And you're like,
yes, I have had them.
Oh no, I saw one that you were in actually. It was. I don't know if you want to bring this up, but it was.
Go right ahead.
It had to do with another individual. I don't know his name. I just love watching these Twitter battles, reading them. Another individual who had the same idea of your PodCRASH.
Oh yeah,
I went back and forth, I see you didn't want to talk about it. But I was just watching it.
That guy was a douchebag. He's a douchebag comedian who just basically lifted the. But it was weird because his theme song sounded like my theme song.
That's strange.
Which was really, that was the thing that bugged me. It's like, oh wow, he's really just completely ripping it off.
Yeah.
So whatever. All right, let's not talk about that. Hey, you can follow the show on Twitter at PodCRASH Show. You can follow me at that Chris Gore. You can go to facebook.com/PodCRASH. And you know what? We have an app. For iPhone, for iPad, and for Android devices, just look up PodCRASH. It's a free app. Gives you access to all of the shows, including Succotash, which we talked about earlier with Mark Hershon. And also, please go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. If you think the show deserves it, and drop in a comment. I will read those comments.
Yeah, the film producer is not indicative of the quality of the show. We just want to say that.
Yeah, we just want to say, just don't, please. I hope you actually listened past it or listened through it to listen to the end. I really want to thank the guys from What the Cast again. And Dave, thanks for coming to my place in downtown LA and hanging out and talking music and documentaries.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, and thanks for all the help and support through the last couple of years.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
Let's get out of here.
We should.
If you're still listening to this, you're probably a lot like me. You're the kind of person that loves to listen to indie rock bands and also loves music documentaries. And if you're still listening to this, you're also someone who's a lot like me, wants to be very thorough in listening to your podcast. And if you're doing that right now, I like you. And for that, you shall be rewarded. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to PodCRASH with that Chris Gore, 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California, 90036. You will be rewarded with the PodCRASH Fan Club Kit. It's absolutely free. And if you keep listening, you'll hear a bonus piece of audio from the What the Cast live podcast recorded at DragonCon. Later.
Yeah, well, this makes me think about, I'd love to be a confused Gotham Rogues fan. What did he say? Take back your city. I couldn't understand what he was saying.
I'm a fool
Mr.
for the
Bain.
city? What?
What
I
did
don't.
Mr. Bain say?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
CD 13 for you.
Yeah, I'm sure over the
was awesome.
I'm sure over the PA system it was even more intelligible.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't get that scene from them. I didn't know what.
When
the point
someone
of that
brings
was.
me a Ricola, then.